Good morning. I am a member of Baobab Humanity Initiative, which is a local grassroots humanitarian organization, a nonprofit organization, which focuses on education, cultural exchange between Western Africa and the United States, and human development projects. And this morning we are privileged to have with us Antonio Gutierrez from northern Togo. Originally, Antonio is from Spain, where he studied history, philosophy, theology, and geography, and he was a teacher for over 10 years. And he has spent the past 20 years in Western Africa. He has devoted his life to the people there, working with communities who lack basic living supplies, the primary one being lack of access to clean water. He is a living success story about how to empower impoverished people to work together to improve their living conditions. He has overcome political and cultural hurdles to accomplish projects with far-reaching benefit for many people. He dresses like the people he lives with. He speaks 5 languages and he's learning another. And he is adept at identifying viable solutions to complex challenges. So with that, I would like to remind you that you may feel free to ask questions during the talk. He'll be happy to answer them during the talk. And after the talk, anyone who would like to join him and a couple other employees for lunch, you're welcome to do so. And now I present Antonio, who will talk about thirst, how to dig a well.
Okay, thank you to you. And you know, for me, speaking different languages from time to time is really hard. When I arrive in here, sometimes I have a hard time just to understanding you, the way you speak, because you speak very quickly. Anyway, I think I have left from 10,000 years ago just to come to the situation today. And it's not 10,000 years ago, no, it's something that I'm living today, but I'm living over there, same that people used to live maybe 10,000 years ago in here, you know. The difference is really important. But for me, what's happening? I went to Africa, and when you arrive there, you realize that the way in which you think and the way things are happening are not the same thing. Your reaction and the reaction of people is not the same. Then you have to sit, you have to stay with them, and you can't be as quickly as you are in here. Because usually you have a brand new Formula One racing car and they are on foot. Unless you park your Formula One racing car and walk with them, you can do anything. Then the first thing you have to try to do is to try to understand them, to comprehend why they do this and this and this. And after, you realize that you can work with them. What do I try to do? Just to see what they need. And after, to answer to the needs they can have. And not only, it's not possible just to say, I give you, that doesn't work. The way is, you have a need, we'll try to see it, we'll try to see together how we can deal with this thing. Doesn't matter what. Digging a well, building a school, building a bridge, or doesn't matter what, yes, to stay with them and to make them conscious that it is their problem, not my problem. Then, yes, to help them to grow in order to solve their own problems. Well, there are so many images, but you know, when I arrived in here, I've signed something just saying that you can use the images. They are so surprised when I take an image and after I'm going to pass them with my computer. Can you imagine the only computer all around is mine? Can you imagine things like that? But what is the problem? That people over there can't read or write. Then what can we do? You know, there are one end and the other end. Maybe today we are going to be able to approach something and try to help those people. Why? Because I think many times we are thinking about ourselves and we are not very conscious about how many things we can do for the others. And maybe today I can be the voice of those who cannot say anything, who have no voice, just to speak to those who are in the other end. Well, to dig a well is something very important for them. Can you imagine people walk 3-4 miles to look for water? Well, sorry, I said people, no, women. Women walk. Then, when I want to dig a well, first thing, I say, everybody in the village has to be present. Why? Nobody can tell me I don't drink water. Nobody can tell me I don't have a shower a day. Even, you know, a shower is not something like that. It's a bucket and a glass, and you're going to pour water, but everybody needs it. And, you know, first thing what I do is a meeting. A meeting with everybody, with everybody. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 10 times. Till the moment that I realize that they are ready to collaborate, that they have realized that it's their problem. And after, I try to look for the place. How do I do to look for the place? Well, if I tell you the reality, I didn't want to believe it. I went to my country and I spoke to somebody who is a very good person to look for water. And I told him, you know, this year I have tried, and in 4 different wells, I have gone over 30 meters. 30 meters is how many feet?
100 feet almost.
100 feet. And I didn't find water enough. He told me, it's up to you to do it. I was so surprised that he repeated, it's up to you to do it. Well, I can't tell you today, it's up to me to do it with this. With this, I try to look for water. This past season, I marked 19 different places, and in all the 19 different places, we found water. Funny, yes, but it's the reality. I don't know how, but I know that in here, if I want to know where's the water, you know, I just ask, is there water in here? Huh? You know, then I try to say which place towards. Over there, I can go and I can find just the place. You know, sometimes you don't see it. Why? Because it's me who has l'appareil photo. Camera. Sorry. You know, sometimes I'm looking for the right word. And sometimes it's me who takes the photographs. People over there don't know how to take them. Then, you know, what's the problem? If I look for a machine and I come and I do all the work, they are not conscious, and they are going to be a little child that is asking for. I don't think it's the way. If they say like this, look, we have 2 hands, and we are going to work together, is the way. You know how they are digging? I have marked the place, and little by little, I do teams. Why? I ask all the people just to come, and after, women know that they are not going to do the work now. The women are going to work after. Then men are going to be there. Young people who can work are going to be there in teams to work. But all people are going to be there just to control You know, it's something that unless you know what is happening over there, you are going to make many mistakes. Unless you stay with them, unless you live with them. And if you know their language, is the dress I'm wearing is something funny for you, I think. But it's the way in which people dress over there. Then if they see a white person dressing like this, he says, oh, he is with us. It's the way, yes, to please them. And is the way to feel comfortable with them, and is the way in which they are going to accept you. If you speak their languages, is the most incredible thing. I remember once I used to go to a village regularly to pray, and one day an old person, an old man, was just doing something and asked me, "What do you do in here? When you come in here, why do you come?" And I said, "I come, yes, to pray with people." And you know, he told me, "I'm going to pray in order you will be as old as I am." I was surprised, but I realized when a person says something like this, he is expecting an answer from me, and I say, "What can I answer?" And he said, it's good. "Well, I'm going to pray in order you will see me being as old as you are." He was so pleased that I could understand that from that day on, he didn't stay there. If he sees me coming, he was just getting up and come and to say me hello. From then on, we're very, very good friends. You know, it's the way you have to deal with them. You have to understand, to comprehend their way, and then they are going to let you know how you can work with them. I'm speaking, and you know how they are doing, and how they work by hand. Why? Because machines are not there. Then it's not a possibility. If you do something for them, they are not going to be conscious, to aware that is their problem. I usually go with a bottle, and I say, "You have problems with water?" "Yes, we have." "I don't have problems, you know. I have a bottle in my car always." But it's not just to disturb you. It's just to let you know that in the same way that I have, I expect one day you are going to be able to tell me, "We don't have problems with water," you know? And then I'm just thinking, there are several steps. The first one is to find water to drink. But after is just to think how, if the rainy season is 4 months, who working 4 months can eat 12? Then if I can find water enough, yes, to do gardens and to grow vegetables, they are going to improve their foods, and the things are going to be better. You know, you are looking at this, but I can tell you every detail, even the name of these people, how I have worked together with them, how I have meetings, I have had meetings with them. And you try to take all the things that are happening. You see where he is sleeping? Can we do something like that? There are so many funny, different things that, but you know, you get used to them, and they get used to you. For me, one day I remember was really touching when I was with a group of leaders that everybody could understand French, and I'm working with them, and I was telling them, you know, I don't know how to deal with you. I try to do this and this and this and this, and I can't find an answer. And you know, I would like you to, but, and in the same moment, somebody told to his neighbor in his language, "This guy, he loves us." I was so touched that I couldn't say a word. After they said to me, go ahead. "No, it's okay." or today I've understood all that I wanted. Why? Because I was just pushing them, but they were telling me it's not possible for us to go quicker. Yes, and I know I have to stay with them. I have to take my time with them, because usually they say, you have the watch, but we have the time. It's the difference. It's the difference. And unless you try to come to them and to stay with them and to live with them, and sure, love them, a good work is really hard to be done. This is the rainy season finished, and what? A school. What happened? I went to inaugurate a well. It's about 2 miles away from me here. What happened? 70 children that came, I was just saying them hello, because I tried to make adult conscience that the important thing is children. They don't pay attention about children. Then 70 children couldn't answer to my greeting. I was so surprised that it was happening. The nearest school is 4 miles away. Who among you can walk 4 miles in the morning and 4 miles back in the evening? Then what I try to do is just have a meeting with the parents and just make them very conscious that they have to send the children to school. And that's the beginning of a school. See? Go ahead. I think there are... you know, what's that? I tried over there. No desks, no tables, no chairs. I tried to buy this wood. Is the place in which they are going to be able to write. Because even if I can do it, it's not good for me to do everything. It's the parents who must try to do it. And sometimes I have to wait, I have to make them do the effort just to do it. Well, see, this is the classroom. When this past week I was just passing in here in the school, the children were very upset. But I told her, I've told them, see, it's the way. It's the way in which I try to deal with them and let them know that it is their problem and it is them who can go ahead with the situation. See the tables? Can you imagine the benches over there? It's funny, but it is what they have constructed. And, you know, over there, this is before the children started the school, the parents were there. We had several general meetings. This is the project just to construct a school over there, a 6th class school, maybe about 600 children. It's not $1,100. How much is a school in here? After this, I have a project about building a high school, because there are many primary schools, but we want to go ahead, and it's going to be hard. But, well, we're there, and we try to do our best. And, you know, I'm not just thinking the first thing about money, or how can, but I've just come in here, and I realize that maybe some, or many among you, can help me. If you are able, I'd be very pleased. After the general meeting, they were out, you know, you see, everybody is happy. The rainy season is finished, but that's the parking lot. The only, have you seen? The only car is mine. But my car, sure, is not for me. It's just because they need the things that I have. And the car lets me just to be in here today, in the morning, and in the afternoon in another place, and be in other cities. I think you know that. Very close to the school, I try to look for the well. You see here, when I was just ready to come, somebody, the director of a school, came with a letter just to ask for what to build, to dig a well in his school. But he told me the other 5, 6 schools around have the same problem. They have built the school, but no water. Then, you know, this past season, I was dealing with 19 wells in 19 different places, especially thinking about the problem women have, because it's up to women just to bring water to the house. But, well, in the same situation that the 19 we have already done, there are about 150 more only in the parish where I am, but there are many other possibilities. And these 3 young people are the teacher. What was the problem? That when I wanted to start the school, I realized that people over there speak a language. And then I couldn't find any teacher from their language. Then these teachers that are going to teach in French had to take a month class about in how no teachers, just to stay with people, just to try to understand or to hear what people speak. A month before they have started with children at the school, in order just to understand something. Because I lived the experience, and it was really hard. I remember one teacher came to me to ask just to help them with the well. And then when we have arranging things, I told him, we have to change to call a general meeting for all the parents. And he was just asking, where can I find somebody to translate it? And I told him, myself, I can. You can speak the language from here. Yes. And he was so surprised when I was speaking to the pupils in their language, and they could answer, and he couldn't imagine things like that. But, you know, for me, it's clear. A key is going to open a door. With the language, you can open the heart of people. And the effort you do just to learn the local language is really important. Can you imagine your kids at school, like in here? You know how I've told you that I come from 10,000 years? You know the difference? And you see, no books is a very big problem. I was just telling to the kids, how many books do you have? You see, no books, only the little blackboards in which they write with a piece of chalk. But is the way is what you find over there, and is what you usually do. There's not a shop in which you can buy, you know, we are doing a blackboard. How do you do it? Yes, to paint. You have to deal with the things you have, and you have to try to solve the problems you are going to find over there. This is a meeting with the one who are the leaders of the parents. What you have to do, to choose those who can speak French. Why? Because otherwise it's terrible that you can't deal with them if they don't understand what you speak. Over there is a French-speaking country. The official language is French. There are, from time to time, some that can speak some English. They have traveled. Maybe they have done many years, maybe in Ghana or maybe in Nigeria. But can you imagine that school? That's why I'm just thinking about building a nice school. I have in here the project. You see the blackboard? Well, from time to time, there are people that come around and visit. And I used to take them, you know, see, in the beginning, it was really funny. Because I used to arrive and say, good evening, how are you? No answer. Little by little, you know, when they start understanding, they are able, yes, to leave their hands. They're going to answer. The book's over there. The teacher's book and notebooks. And see water? They come with water from the house. But from the house that sometimes they have walked 3 or 4 miles to look for water. You know, different teachers in different classrooms. And a ball. I was asking the pupils in here, you know what does mean to have a ball? The day I arrived with that ball and everybody was passing like this, just touching the ball. It was for them, she was, or everybody was so pleased, so happy. Those books over there, I was looking for. They have written in here, it is not allowed to be sold. Anyway, I paid 1,250 francs. It's about $3.50. And $3.50 is the salary their parents can earn in 2 days' work. You think what does it mean to have a book over there? A lady asked me, what can I do? How many books can I send? If you want to send a container, and maybe I can give one book to each one of the thousands of pupils that we have over there. They love to play. You know, now you remember how in the beginning it was green, how now everything is dry, how things, there are 2 seasons. But during the rainy season, they work in the fields. And you can go to because see, no asphalt, no possibility, yes, to go because you are going to have a problem anytime. And I was just taking them to the well, and I was asking to the people, what's that? And I've told them, that's the school bus. How many people can go in? How many people can go in the school bus? I remember once I took them, you know, the parents are really happy. We have finished the meeting. See, even when they have nothing, many times they are much more happy that we are having so many things. Why? Because I'm sure things don't make you happy. And money is not the most important thing. There are many more things more important than money and having things. Friendship is something that, and when you understand people, he loves us, is really nice, something like that. You know how many pupils can enter the school bus? about 30. And they are so happy, yes, to go in. In the same way that I'm working with building schools, digging wells, I've thought about the construction of dams. Why? Because when the rainy season arrives, the water comes. But if you can stop it there and not let the water will go, things are going to change. And I'm thinking about changing what? The way in which people live. It's not just to bring them a computer. Why? Because they can't use it. we have to go step by step and just be with them and know what they need. Because somebody came and told me, I'm going to give you a motor just to bring the water from the well. I said, no. But I give it to you, it's free, it's a present. I don't want it. Why? Because the women that work 3-4 miles to look for water and have water in here are very happy with it. Then the moment that the women are going to ask for it, I'm going to meet them, I'm going to ask them how much you're going to give me for this. Doesn't matter. If they say 5 and it is 5,000, it's not a problem. But it's their collaboration and it's their situation. Here, they have built a bridge. And a bridge that, you know, has gone. And the best solution should be, yes, not to build only a bridge, just to make a dam. In order water will stay there. Do you know? And August the 15th, I passed across this. This August the 15th, I remember I passed across this bridge, but after, I think, 3 different moments in which a heavy rain came, then everything went away. And I remember it was an engineer who came over there and said, this is a very nice place because everything is to be done. You know, nothing is been done. And you know, this is the former bridge. The water has swept it away.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So a lot of these people that you live with do not have education, and yet you need them to do things that require quite a bit of education. So how do you find people to do projects of this scale? How do you find people to build a bridge when that requires engineering skills?
Well, you want to know how I can find people, yes, to do projects like this? Well, maybe you yourself can find the answer. Who has called me to come in here? He who has followed the situation. You, I just try to come in here to let people know what I need, and then if somebody wants to help me, I'm just happy to collaborate. I'm ready and to do what they can do for me. Well, not only for me, but for the people over there.
Would they get involved in a project like this? Or?
Unless they are not involved, there's nothing to do. You know, we are just seeing the bridge. There's a story that means that is a reality. There was a village that was in 2 parts of the river. And then there was a non-profit organization that came and said, we are going to build you a bridge. And then they came and built a bridge. People were very happy with the bridge. But, you know, the rainy season was a heavy one, and then came and took away the air that they had put just around the bridge. And they called to those who have built the bridge, you know, we have problems. We want you to help us. They arrived. It's very easy. It's only up to you to put the earth. They hadn't thought about it. Why? Because everything had been done for them. No. It's not the way. What you have to do is to involve them. For example, in digging a well, you have seen. For example, a dam. When you want to make a dam, what can you do? For example, you need stone. You are going to organize everybody in the different villages just to bring stone. They are going to be very happy, just saying, it is us who have made it. Otherwise, if you bring the stone, they are going to think, oh, a good stone, I'm going to steal it, I'm going to take it away. No, no, it's not the way. The way is just to let them participate, to involve them in the situation. When I make a school, the young people working are invited, yes, to say, once you have built your school, you are going to come in here to learn to read and write. It's your right, because it's you who have worked in here. Then it's up to you to come. You know, unless they don't feel that the thing is for them and that it is them who have participated, it's difficult. And development is not to give a present. Development is to change mentality and to help them to stand. If they are just laying, help them to stand. Okay, thank you for your question. You know the effects of the heavy rain. It arrives and it arrives. What is the problem? That when they are constructing, they are not really conscious. Maybe we don't have all the different possibilities that may happen. And when you see things in here, you can't imagine that a heavy rain, the water may be 15 to 20 feet high. And it is a few hours, but a few hours is enough just to sweep the different wells. I think things are really different. For me, it's really hard to imagine where I am. But I think for you, it's really difficult just to imagine where I am too, over there. But maybe we can bring things together to realize, you know, I went yes to visit the other place, and I realized that when a heavy rain came, water has gone over the bridge, and see the holes that they have dug when the water was going through, and we're going to see the bridge and where the water arrived. Yeah, you know, you realize that the water has gone over the bridge, and 2 days ago things have gone. See, is how the bridge is now. They are just trying to repair, but what's happening? Election took place last Sunday. Then, because it was the period in which elections were going to take place, even the president came 500 miles away. He came over there and visited in a helicopter. I'm sure in 4 years' time, nothing will be done. Then you have to go across the water, and during the rainy season, nothing to do. But if I am able to do something, the government and the authorities are going to be very happy with the things you are going to do, because they recognize that you are with the population, that you are with people, and that you try to help them. For example, this year I've just started in the little city where I am with a campaign to let people come to learn to read and write. All the people that go to, you can say a vocational school, but try to learn something from a vocational school, I have spoken to all the masters, and they send the people, the young people, to the school, yes, to learn to read and write. I have about 500 in the city, but all around a well, see how many people are in the in the school mission. And they come with the children, they are like this. Some of them are learning in the local language, not many, because I prefer they to do the effort to learn French, because it's much more interesting, because when you are moving, speaking French is the way, yes, to communicate with the others, That is a language called MOBA. I'm learning it. I was really happy, yes, when I went there, to find the method. And even coming in here, when I have a little time, I try to learn here, parler MOBA, and the books that I was really lucky that I have found them. But in Mokolle is me, well, not only me, but the team that was working with me, that we have done this. And the dictionary, we have made it from Mokolle French and French Mokolle. It is our group that, and that when you have done it, and you realize that is the way in which a tongue is, a language is not going to be lost, to die. It's going to. They have come to me with the number of those who want to learn to go to school, to learn to read and write. Go ahead. See in here which number. Go. Yeah. The total is 154 or 84. But that was a group, and I have several groups. I think I will have about 500 coming to learn to our school in the mission. Can you imagine? I am in here and they say, who can read? Everybody is normal. Over there, I can say, who can read? Many times it's only me who can read. Can you imagine the difference? But for me, the important thing is to realize what is my virtue and what is their fault. Why we are in here and we can read and write and we can have so many things, and why they are there and they can't, and they don't have as many things as we have. And what can we do? Yes, to share. Yes, to share. What? Our time, our possibilities, our money. Yes, to be conscious that it's not up to us just to run where? There were the two young men running like this. Where are we going? I don't know, said the other. And the other said, hurry up, we are going to be late. Many times we can have something like this. Just to realize that people are, the meeting, people need our help. And I've told you, I want to be the voice of those who have no voice. Over there is really funny, but nobody can speak French, only the teacher. They...
Antonio, I think we'll take a few questions now. And
then we should wrap up. Yeah. For me, it's not a problem. I'm just speaking. Anyway, if you want to ask, because, I'm just showing you something, but maybe the question you are going to ask to me are much more interesting because are what? The things you want to know better than the things I'm living. Anybody? Yeah?
Does people have enough bikes around? You said that bikes
Do they have
is their
enough
main
bicycles?
Yeah, he wants to know if all of them have bikes. Not even all. Not even all. Having a car in here is much more easy than having a bicycle over there. Not everybody has a bicycle. Not everybody can afford it. Something we can't imagine. The reality is there. No? Yes?
What
what do the people do during the dry season if there's no agriculture?
Yeah, there are two different seasons. The rainy season, in which people work like the animals. And during the dry season, nothing to do. Then is the problem. What do they do during the dry season? I try to make them conscious how they have to work, they have to prepare things. You know? Because, you know, the one who can count 1, 2, 3, many, can't organize things. And what you have to do is just to help them to organize things. How? Just sending them to school. One of the things I have done is planting trees. In here, I can speak about, how do you say reforestation? Reforestation is the word I was looking for. Thank you. In here, I'm telling you, well, you know, the desert is coming quickly. Then we have to plant trees just to stop it. Over there, that says nothing. But when you say, if you plant these trees, in 3 years' time, you're going to have food enough to eat. And those who can prevent, who can't count, can't organize things, and when the crop has come, it doesn't matter if it is 10 or 20 or 50 sacks that have arrived, they are going to finish it in 4 or 5 months, and the rest problems. Then what I have tried to do is to put trees, cashew trees, that can feed them the moment that corn and sorghum is going to lack. And especially, what have I done? Just make things in order women will realize how things are not very difficult. You see, cashew. I didn't know anything about cashew trees. I didn't know anything about planting trees or about digging wells. But what's happening? When I see that people have a problem, I try to be with them and to solve the problem with them. Then I try to be with them. You know, they are throwing just it. But that kind of apple has 9 times the vitamin C that the oranges have. Then, if you dry it, the moment that there are too many, you can dry them. And after, that's like a sweet for them. And then, if women arrive to dry it, to put in a plastic bag, 2, 3 months later, they can give them to the kids, and the kids are going to go to school, and they have found something to eat. So, and, you know, I was thinking about sending them just to sell, but when I realized trade, that's terrible. That's the sea and the sharks, they are biting people. Then I've just tried to tell them, you know, you have things in here to eat, food enough, you don't have problems. If you want to start with trade, from time to time you see a shop that says, I'm selling in here things coming from South America or Africa. Is something very, very dangerous, difficult. But at least for me, if they arrive to realize that things can happen like that, because, you know, this is 600 francs, and they used to come from the village with wood, maybe over 100 pounds of wood, and they are going to receive 300. This is not heavy, you can come with this, and you are going to find somebody to buy it. Is the way.
Few more questions and then
that's probably it. Any more questions? I think you are surprised about something so different. Can you imagine something like that? It's funny? Yes.
How do those people get the clothes, for example?
The clothes? Yeah. You know, this is the clothes they usually use a bank holiday or maybe on Sunday. But usually they can get second-hand clothes coming from Europe or coming from America, and then they're going to buy it and they're going to wear it. So there are two different ways in which they dress. The bank holiday, they are very well dressed, and a work day, they usually, well, not everybody, but because some of them don't have even money to wear clothes. I remember I was in charge of the prison, and at least 6 times I could find clothes for all the 300 prisoners. I used to get a container, and then from the welfare in my city, they sent me clothes just to give one to each one of those who were in prison.
We'd like to thank all of you for coming today, and Antonio will be here for a few minutes after the talk if you'd like to come up and ask more questions. Also, we invite you to join us for lunch today if you'd like to do that. And we thank you on behalf of Baobab Humanity Initiative for joining us today. Thank you very much.